Good morning. I don't know how to do this. I'm not sure how long this is going to go, but it's a crisp morning for sure. We're in the 30s. We're almost frozen. 32 degrees, according to my car thermo. Gonna go a little bit churchy on ya. And I'm gonna keep on going with expanding horizons. To visualize a perspective pushes the boundary of your own thinking, challenges your behavior, and it ultimately, if done right, can make this world a better place. In trying to push myself to be more patient, and I've heard that I'm already way patient as it is. I know in those areas that I'm not, and so I push myself to do that. Not only listen more, but to note the time and the quality of the time when I'm with that person. And even in customer service, there's a time management that is always there. And in that time management, you have a goal to do and complete a transaction, we'll say. But occasionally there's those times when it becomes more on a touchy-feely personal level with that person, where this is going beyond whatever that transaction is, and they want your time. And sometimes it's just right incorporated with the actual transaction. I hope you're able to follow with me. If you've been in retail, you know, or any kind of customer service. So you take that time and expand it out. I know personally that I used to do time standards, so I'm very aware of that. In jobs, and also in radio. How long is the song? And if you have to go to the bathroom and you're on the air, you put on a long song, just in case. Every transaction that you do, if it's whatever you're doing in retail, may take only, we'll say, an average of 2 minutes. Okay? But if there's multiple things that they're buying, or that they're there to do, Now you're up to 5 minutes. You know? In that time period, you may have a person who is wishy-washy, or you may have a person who is not just like what I'm doing right now and talking to you, not as fast as you want them to be. The term "the customer is always right" starts off with time. You're being paid to do a transaction. You're being paid to be there for their time. You can help them along. You can guide them. You can be quicker at whatever steps you can do to cut the corners to make a transaction expedient, especially if you talk about having people behind them or a line of people behind them. Okay, but all in all, they're the ones. They're the reason why you have a job. They're the reason why you have, for all intents and purposes, every second in the present to be attentive to them. Does that make sense? So, yeah. When you're talking with them, it may be more than a transaction, but also on a personal level, that's what it's there for. That's what you're there for. That's where that transaction is taking place. Okay? And it becomes more than just the item being sold across the counter. It becomes more than just the food being served, or the need being met. It becomes more of a need being met in their world. And you are the person that has to listen and have to be there. It's like one of the other things that I've understood, I've been told this as well, on grieving. One of the best things for a person sometimes when they're going to be with somebody that is in the thralls of grieving, that they've lost somebody, someone has passed or whatever, there are times that just being there means everything in the world. There's a lot of cases where a person may go, I just didn't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. We always feel like that that it's our job to do something. Sometimes our job is to stand in the gap between a person who has separation anxiety, who's grieving, who's having just the worst of human emotion falling on them. And I'll say it, despair and other ill spirit wanting to get a hold of them because they are right now at their most vulnerable state. Sometime standing in that gap is what your job is. Okay? Of just sitting there and listening and talking. No matter how deep your friendship may be, or your relationship may be. And so, a lot of people, that's hard for them, to stand in that gap. They don't know what more to do. And so they think they need to do something. Well, you don't need to do anything. You need to be there. Isn't that, and sometimes that's challenging enough for us. So take it as a challenge. But take it as an appointment. Just the same. Just like in a customer service, it's an appointment that you are being paid to do. Okay? You are being paid to serve that food. You are being paid to complete that transaction across the counter. You're being paid to sit across that desk from a person and listen to them. And I'm taking my time with this one because I need to get my point across. And there's some people right now that may hear this that have never heard this or have never felt this before. But I'm here to tell you that's your job. And it will reflect back on you. A person can come into a retail situation that are just angry and ticked off the world, or worse, they got a chip on their shoulder and it's for you. It's for the business that you represent. Okay, how are you going to deal with it? There's going to be areas that you're wrong because of your company or your restaurant or your whatever. And there's going to be areas that they're wrong. How are you going to turn around and take that dialogue and point out those keys in the thralls of a conversation that is a heated conversation? Okay? That's your challenge. That's what you're getting paid to do. That is what you have to cram in to a time management situation. And if there are going to be those times that you can't do anymore. You can only do so much, I should say. And so that's where I'm going to stop right there. I've taken enough time, and this is the best I can do. And if a person needs to hear more, they're not going to get it. If the answer isn't satisfying, that's the answer I can give you. You've done what you can to remedy the situation. And trust me, adding a little bit of time to that transaction right now may eliminate any more time later on. Or wasted time. That's what time management is. It's managing time. You know how fast you can do it in. You know how fast that if all of a sudden there's a couple little problems, you can still do it in. Add in the factor of their situation, okay, you may extend out that little bit of time. Add in the complications of their position on top of your being able to answer them expediently may add a little bit of time. But at some point, this is the best I can give you. Their reaction may not be what you want to hear. Their reaction may be something that adds a little bit more time. But at some point, you got to close that window. But if it's done right, and it's not always going to be that way, but if it's done right, you leave the situation amicably. Maybe with a follow-up, but you leave the situation amicably. And for those that really need the help, that are there on a level beyond that transaction, they're normally wanting you to stand in the gap between them and something that is greater than their transaction in front of them. I hope you have a beautiful day. Got nothing but love for you. I've taken my time, way more time than I wanted to, but enough time that was probably needed. Now that we're going into a new year, 2026, expand your horizons. Realize what life is. And that no one is to blame and we're all to blame. But that's what forgiveness is about. That's what love is about. Okay? Got nothing but love for you. Have a good one.